as far as traveling. And some guys, they go to these foreign countries, Sosua, Dominican Republic, Cartegena, Colombia, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and you lose your mind. You've never seen these type of women, beautiful women, in quantity, and they're interested in you. When back in the U.S. or back in your home state, you may not have been able to pull a 5 or 6. Now, so you got 8, 9s, and 10s interested in you. Be careful, man. Because really, you meet these women in these cities in particular, Sosua, Dominican Republic, Cartegena, Colombia, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and also, to some extent, Medellin, Colombia. These are popular tourist destinations. These are places that women in these countries know that they can go find a gringo or a Western man and get some money about him. So it's heavily schemed. We are really schemed against these particular cities. So just be careful, man. You know what I'm saying? You meet a young lady, have fun, you know what I'm saying, do what it is, but don't try to fall in love in these particular cities, because more likely than not, she's just looking for either a good time and or some money, probably money first.
Whatever you do, just don't show feminist women from our community this video, bro. They gonna say, see, I told y'all so. Y'all going over there, passport bros, y'all going overseas trying to find y'all women. Y'all should be trying to work on what y'all got right at home. But the truth of the matter is, women are just naturally hypergamous. To the passport bros, y'all think y'all gonna go over there and find a woman that's gonna love y'all for you. Nah, bro, she know y'all from America, bro. Like, the value of our dollar is way stronger than the value of their dollar. I'm not saying they're not gonna be traditional women, they're not gonna be better than the women that we got, the selection that we got, but it's all hypergamy. You know what I'm saying? It's all hypergamy at the end of the day and at the beginning of the day. Pretty much you just choosing a hypergamous woman with traditional values, basically. But y'all cannot escape hypergamy, bro. It's like, it's a part of their nature, it seems like, you know what I mean?
As a fellow passport brethren, I have to say that I somewhat approve of this message. Good Dot back again, once again, let's lock in. Shout out to the IPA, International Passport Association and affiliates. Everything about the Good Doc listed in the description area below. Good docs, good books, etc. You know it. Now, shout out to the homie Infinite Colors for providing his reaction to the video and giving his own opinion on it. And I want to piggyback off of a couple of things. First things first, I want to piggyback off what the brother said about not wifing up Latina women in Sosua, Colombia, and places like that. If you watch my video on why some guys say and believe that Filipinas, more specifically, are wifey material, this is the video that I was alluding to. Now, I want to be open, honest, and clear because as a fellow passport brethren, I don't believe in lying to the community, and I damn sure don't believe faking the funk and or trying to portray a message that is not 100% truthful, right? There are going to be some gold digging ass women in overseas countries. I mean, that's not something that we have ever lied about. It just happens to be that way. I mean, you can't overlook the fact. But although my man was really spitting knowledge from his perspective in reference to guys don't go to, you know, these countries looking to get into serious relationships. I believe that's pretty much what the context was in this particular video, because these women are probably in it for the money. They're probably in it for, you know, to come up in the world. And because these are highly traveled, frequent tourist destinations, likely these women are used to dealing with foreign guys. So they could have the potential of being money-minded. And I think that is probably the part of the video that's gonna go in one ear and out of the other. Now, when I say this and preface this, I'm just speaking more so from my experiences in the Philippines. He not lying. Right? And I'm speaking on it from the Philippine perspective. He touched on it from the Latina community reference to Sosua, like I said, Colombia, Rio de Janeiro, all that stuff. But from the Philippines perspective, likely in your major cities where foreigners are frequent and current travelers to those areas, these are likely the areas where, and it may be extremely difficult and challenging to find a young lady that may be in it to win it just for you. In the Philippines, I would say that's probably 2 areas, maybe 3. Manila's one, capital city of the Philippines, Manila, frequent travelers for foreigners. I know that Makati is somewhat of an extension of Manila, but we say Makati, that area as well. And of course, none other than AC Angeles City. These are likely the cities where I'm pretty sure that a lot, and you could throw Cebu in there as well, Cebu City more specifically. These are the areas that foreigners frequently travel, and as a result, you may find it difficult to find yourself in serious relationships because foreigners frequently travel here. If they're the types that lead with their wallet, they're gonna taint the minds and manipulate the minds of these young ladies from that perspective. But not to mention that if these foreigners are frequently traveling there, these guys are really good at giving out money, to the young ladies that they're entertaining, then how is it that they're not gonna believe that all foreigners that travel to this area, more specifically your Black Americans, your Americans in generals, your Europeans in generals, maybe some Asian countries as well, how is it that you're not gonna have that expectation that they're gonna leave with their wallet? It's blasphemous for them not to think that. Hey, foreigner 1 did it for me, foreigner 2 did it for me, fuck. Foreigner 3 gotta do it. Now, if you're a man and you stand 10 toes down, you've been there, you've done that, you already know we don't leave with the wallet. But you gotta understand the mindset of the young lady you might be dealing with. And trust me, there are plenty of red flags that you guys can see that a woman may not be in it to win it, but more so in it to win the wallet. You feel me? You can sense that. The places they choose to eat, if they're not comfortable or they're not willing to eat out with you at your Carinderias and your local Philippine restaurants and stuff, and they want to eat at the Americanized restaurants, not necessarily your McDonald's or your Jollibees or Pizza Huts, that's cool, but your more expensive restaurants, your sit-down restaurants where you're dropping 1,000 pesos per person a meal, shit like that. It's the small things, and you're gonna pick up on it as you're in it, and you're gonna realize maybe this girl's just in it to see what she can get out of me. Like I said, you're gonna be able to pick it up, and even if you have questions, you can always ask any passport brethren, and they will tell you the certain things that you should look out to. For me, I know what it is when it travels to the Philippines. If you ask all my other passport brethren that travel to other areas, they can drop knowledge on things to look out for when dealing with those women over there. But usually it's almost pretty much generally the same, right? But back to the topic, because I got way the fuck off track there, my bad. But if you pay attention, those capital city areas where foreigners frequently travel, you're likely gonna find it hard and challenging to find a woman that might be in it to win it for you. Which is why a lot of guys, passport brethren who choose to travel to the Philippines specifically, choose to deal with women in provincial areas. Now, the thing or the mentality about provincial girls, at least in the mind of most foreigners, is these are the women that are less likely to be tainted. And when I talk about provincial areas, these are any rural areas outside of major cities. Like anything outside of major cities, your more rural, small town feel type of areas. In the United States, your New Yorks or your LAs are your big cities and shit. But then you got Idaho and Iowa, right? The more rural areas. That's kind of what provinces are, in my opinion. That's the best way for me to describe it. Capital city areas, your LAs, your New Yorks and shit. Then you got places like Idaho and Iowa, right? Not necessarily saying that people don't go there, but it's just those are more your hometown feel types, and where you're likely to find in the Philippines, in the province, more wholesome young ladies, those that have not been tainted by social media, those that have not been tainted by a lot of foreigners coming into the area and fucking it up for everybody. And these are the women where a lot of guys are choosing to find relationships and love, because they know your capital cities produce some very, 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 very complicated situations with women. Now, my man was focusing more so on the idea of just going to these countries and having fun. And again, he was focused on the capital city, right? He wasn't, not capital cities, but your major cities that a lot of foreigners travel to. Maybe because he hasn't been to the provincial areas or the other areas. Maybe those areas are not safe. There's plenty of reasons why guys choose to avoid these particular areas. So yet and still, they're dealing with all of the ladies in the area that all of the foreigners have dealt with and or are dealing with. Come on, man, Doc about to drop this knowledge on that ass tonight. If all foreigners are traveling to 3 particular areas or 3 capital cities in the 3 hottest cities for foreigners to travel, you gotta understand that chances are y'all are gonna be dealing with the same women, or at least the same type of women. Let me make sure I clarify that. Make sure that one more time so that y'all can hear me, those in the nosebleed section. Likely, foreigners traveling to the same area are dealing with the same type of women, or damn near the same woman. I remember a long time ago, I posted a video about a Facebook group that somebody invited me to. Doc's not really big on Facebook groups until he starts his own, coming soon. But they invited me to a Facebook group, and I actually read messages where guys were dealing with the actual same female. They described the young lady to a T. One guy went to the Philippines at a particular time, dealt with her. Another guy, as a matter of fact, the guy recommended you talk to this girl here, gave her number and everything where you could find her on her socials and shit, and they started talking. I shit you not. It was the craziest thing I ever read. I hope that video's still up. I could have blocked it by now, I don't know. But like I said, I joined a Facebook group, and these guys are all dealing with the exact same women or women that are alike. And again, you're gonna find that in cities. These particular guys we're talking about, Angeles City, Angeles City, where a lot of foreigners are choosing to travel, and a lot of them are focusing on Walking Street. That's pretty much any red light district in any part of the Philippines you can find, okay? So if these are the types of women that you're dealing with, right? And they're all coming from the same area or living in the same area, chances are y'all gonna repeat women, or you're gonna end up dealing with the same type of women, and that manipulation, the money-mindedness is gonna come out. Now, if you start to braven up a little bit, suck it up, buttercup, find you a young lady in the provincial areas, and maybe I'm not talking about going hella rural, but to a place where it might be comfortable for you to travel, that's when you can start finding potential compatible relationships for you. Myself in Davao City, like I said, there's other provincial areas and stuff. I'm not sure what those areas are in, the Latin American countries. I'm not sure because I ain't that big yet, but I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about. Again, you only travel to those areas if you feel safe enough to do so. But that's one thing that I feel a lot of foreigners, at least in the know, coming to the Philippines are already aware of. City girls ain't the one. That city girl shit that you hear about in the United States, that type of lifestyle, it's the same in the Philippines and probably other countries abroad. But that city girl mentality is a little bit scaled down in a place like the Philippines, but it still exists nonetheless, right? It's still a, hey, foreigner, hey, Joe, how you doing? Let's go do something. Let's go have some fun. Let's go eat here. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. Let's go take my friends out. Let's go to the bar. Let's go to the club. Let's have fun. Let's party. Let's go back to your place. Yeah, I'm a hook. I'll give you some of this. Just give me a little bit of money. I need money to go home. It's going to happen, right? It's going to happen. So for all the ladies in the background talking about, yeah, I told you so. These bitches don't want you for nothing but your money, like my man, Infinite Colors was talking about. Shout out to the homie. I love his take on it. He said all women in general are hypergamous. And, I can't be mad at that statement because in reality, I think all women want to be with somebody who has some status or at least has the ability to be able to take care of shit. I think that's innately in all women, right? I mean, I can't really argue around that, but I don't think it's all about the money. Right? That's just my personal feeling. It can't be all about the money when it comes to dealing with certain women. Like my man said, focusing on women that come from traditional backgrounds, I think that your traditional background and your traditional young ladies are gonna come from areas in the province, those more rural areas outside of the outskirts of major cities. You understand? Now, I'm not saying, yo, man, the only way I'm gonna find me a young lady is if I go all the way out to the fucking province or some shit like that, 3, 4, 5 hours away. I'm not saying that. You can find quality women. But I do believe these are the type of women that guys are usually choosing to deal with because they're less tainted by social media. It's not really a big thing in certain, rural areas and shit like that. Yeah, TikTok is a thing, but it's not a big thing, right? The only way people tend to converse with people online is if they go to internet cafes and shit. It's a more humbling experience. That's the way I'm trying to explain it. So dealing with the more humbling experience, you're dealing with a more humbled young lady, right? I'm not saying that you ain't gonna find you a couple of sprinkles of some girls that may have seen some shit one time, got a cousin from the city that come around, start talking some shit. I'm not gonna say that. But what I am saying is you are less likely to deal with those challenging ladies that are hypergamous and, only looking to date you to get a lot of money out of you, probably in a provincial area, right? You're less likely to find that. A more humbled approach, a more humbled young lady. So, like I said, man, I enjoyed the coverage of this video. Again, it was short, sweet, straight to the point. That's what the good dot likes. And I just had to add my 2 cents to it. And again, if you're focusing on major cities, major challenges, major problems. Always remember, all right? I'm not saying you gotta keep your head on a swivel all the time, but, if a girl walks up to you, approach you, she call you handsome and guapo and all that shit. If you're in the bars and shit, having the time of your life, and a girl come up to you, maybe that's not the one you want to marry. No, I'm playing. Who knows, man? Maybe you can find quality relationships in bars. I've never tried that, nor do I think that's possible, but what the fuck does the good doc really know, right? I'm just a man on YouTube speaking truth and knowledge for my experiences only. If you guys agree, comment section below. Disagree, say, hey doc, man, you don't know what the fuck you talking about, man. All these women want monies. All these women just want us for everything. They just want us to take care of everything. They want us to take care of everything. You know, we are their saviors. They're here to manipulate us, take all our monies and shit, and that's it. Or if you feel, hey man, they might actually be a little bit different as we start to focus in and get into other areas. You know, that's my conversation for the day. Tell me how you feel. Lock in. Description area below. Love y'all, man. Y'all take care, man. Y'all stay blessed, man. Doc is out. Peace.